Hey guys, I'm going to be playing around again today with this silicone paste putty. Um, so this was made from one of my favorite molds. Unfortunately, the mold has given up the ghost, so I'm going to make myself a new one. And also this weirdy looking thing. I don't know if you can see that properly. Hope you can. I want to make a mold from this because I want to cast it in clear resin. It's for part of a project that I'm doing, a collaboration that's going out at the end of September. So I'm just going to, oh, where have I put that? Sorry. I'll pop a little bit of plastic onto my weighing scales before I plop the putty on there. Don't want it to stick to my scales. Actually, could do with a new scale, but unfortunately the scale is also nowhere near the desk or the camera. So I'm just going to pull out and start with that and see how heavy that is. Okay, so that's 17 grams. I'm going to make it up to 20. Okay, so there's 20 grams of the part B. And do the same. Put it under my nails now, that's not nice. See how much this is. A little more. Spot on. Okay, so make sure I get the lid back on tightly. Pop that over there. And so with this, you kind of just squeeze it about. So you can make sure there's no streaks of colouring. It all needs to be the same colour. Takes a few minutes. You may have seen that I used this in a previous video. And where I went wrong with the previous one is, although it was set enough to take the piece that I was casting out of the silicone mould that I made, what I didn't do was leave it long enough to get a decent result from the cast, because I'm assuming chemical gases, whatever, affected the actual resin. That looks like it's completely mixed in now. I'm going to use just, it's part of an old mixing cup. I hope I've mixed enough for this actually. I'm going to pop that down into there, just to kind of get the shape really. Stop it going too far sideways when I push this down. I'm just going to squish around the edges. Make sure it's covered up to where I need it to be. Oops, got too far there. Okay, I can trim it off if I make a mess anyway. Okay. So that's pretty much there. I do need to mix up a little more for the other piece. Okay, so I'm going to leave that as is. I'll mix up the other piece off camera. Push this. No, behave yourself. Stop playing with it. Okay, so I'm going to leave that now for about half an hour-ish and come back when it's completely done. See you in a little. Bye. Hey guys. So it's probably been about an hour since I poured these. Had a bit of a tidy up in my craft room while I was waiting. So start with this one. That came out really easily. Hope you can see how well that is actually done. Did push it down a touch too far. If you can see in the nose there, it's very, very thin. It should be okay. Pop that to one side. This one, I'll start by pushing out of the surround. That should make it a little easier to get out. And that's come out really, really easily as well. Looks pretty good. So I'm going to leave these now for probably 24 hours to make sure that any chemical reaction, gases, whatever, is gone before I pour resin into them. So I'll see you for that next bit. Bye. Hey guys, these have been sat now for about 24 hours, so they should be ready to use. So I'm going to use this like bluish mica powder. I've tried so many times I can't get that cap off, so I'm just going to cheat and tap some into the mould and then brush it around. Obviously I can't get my brush into that little hole. So I'm sure you'll have seen Daniel Cooper's holographic effect faces that he puts into cabochons. I may have mentioned this in the previous part of this video, I don't know. Just gonna away. So any loose powder off there. So I'm doing a similar thing, but it's not going into a cabochon. And this one, just because I felt like it, it's a nice colour. I'll probably end up, I'm going to start with a clear coat and then probably back it in black afterwards. Hopefully you can see I'm getting right in there. Work it all in, put too much in there as I regularly do, so I'm just going to tap that out over my bin. Okay, so let's get this put away or I knock it over. That's quite normal for me. Okay, so here we go. I've got 30 grams of Resin Pro Eye Crystal mixed up. I'm not going to fill this face completely because it would be too deep for what I'm going to be using it for. Just going to leave it at that and pop the rest of this into this mould. Okay, a little more than I needed, but that's okay. So I need a little pointy stick here because I can see, I don't know if you can see me, pop this down a little bit. There is an air bubble right in the tip of the nose. There's one in the mouth there. What I'm trying to do is kind of tease it away without actually touching the mould. Last thing I need is a bubble in the nose, and I don't want to touch the mould and brush off the powder. Come on out. easing that bubble. There we go. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to leave that as it is. I will give it a quick spray of isopropyl alcohol. If I can get that bubble to burst. There you go. And the same on here. It would help. I need to top the bottle up. So yeah, there are no bubbles. You can see a little bit of powder floating on the surface, but that's okay. So yeah, I'm going to leave that for a few hours, and I will see you for the demold. Bye. Hey guys, these have been in the mold for a little while now. They're ready to come out. So we'll start with the little one. Yeah, that turned out really well. I'll need a bit of sanding down on the back. Sadly, I've looked at the piece I was going to use it in, and I think it's going to be too deep because the huge nose. But I'll give it a go and see how it goes after it's sanded down. At least it worked. That's the main thing. So, there you go. Yep, turned out really well. And what the strange mark is on there. Nothing in the mould, it's probably just the way that I've put the powder on. So I'm just going to mix up a tiny bit of black mica powder with some UV resin. There, out of the way. Just to coat the back. It's more than I need for this, but I got something else that I can mix the back with. Just going to use the back of a micro brush to mix this with. Make sure it's properly mixed in and that it's not too opaque for the UV light to penetrate. It looks like it's mixed. We'll find out in a second. Actually, it wasn't too much after all. I'm going to balance this on the actual mould to make sure it's not going the wrong way. Unfortunately, my large UV light has bitten the dust, so I'm going to have to do this with oh, hang on a second though. Nope. Nope, I'm going to have to do this one with my torch, unfortunately. Hope it's not too thick. See, there's a few bubbles on there. Let me give that a quick zap with my lighter. Okay. Just give this a few seconds so that it's partially set. And then I'm going to have to put it out in the sunlight to fully cure, because this torch isn't brilliant. It's okay, but it's not as good as having a proper UV light. We're getting there. I've dented it all over now. That's all right. It's only a test piece. It's fine. I think that's done enough now for me to be able to turn over and show you. So it's quite matte. unfortunately, but that I think is because the piece wasn't particularly glossy to begin with. I should have given it a coat of spray varnish or something before I used it, but it's okay. It's worked out pretty well. I'm going to pop that out in the sunlight for it to fully cure, and I will see you for the next one. Bye. Hi guys. So I've got 2 of these made up. I'm not going to be using them for what I originally planned because they won't fit, but I thought I might as well, as I'm here and I've got some resin mixed up, have a little go at what Daniel Cooper did with the kind of holographic images. I'm not going to fill these up all the way because I will need a little bit of space for a back coat. I have no idea how I'm going to get this in here without it sinking. I'm just going to drop it on top and hope for the best. Yay! I can see bubbles under there though. That's going to be a bit of a problem. Where's my toothpicks? Should have dealt with this before. Should have done what Daniel did and got the awkward bits with some UV resin before popping it in. Very gently. Not going to work without me knocking this underneath the resin, is it? I'm actually pushing the bubble further in rather than getting it out. Oh, hang on, here comes one. Got it? See if I can do the same with this one. Okay. So it's exactly the same place with this one. Maybe I'm going to need 2 toothpicks for this. Squeeze that bubble out. Come on out. It's really irritating. I only did this because I had a little resin left over. But I'm going to have to work on that off camera. And I will be back with you for the next part, assuming this part actually works. See you in a bit. Okay, I babysat these for a while, but obviously not for long enough because they have actually moved quite a lot within the mould. So not only are they not going to be any good for what I originally wanted them for, they're not going to be any good for anything. But I just want to see if the principle worked for me as well as it did for Daniel. I'm not going to put a back coat on them because it's just a waste of resin. Okay, so other than the bubbles, it's actually come out quite well. I've got some black felt here. Yeah, so apart from the bubbles, that actually worked really well. And of course the fact that the head moved. Try this other one. I think there are less bubbles in here, but still there are some. And of course it's gone sideways. Yeah, there's still a couple of little bubbles here and there, but overall better. Looks really good with the black background. So I am going to do this again. I will just be a lot more careful. And yeah, see you later.